Bremont has probably been one of the busiest brands at Watches and Wonders. They've got a new CEO, a new brand, a new direction, and a whole host of new watches. Their new CEO is a chap called Davide Serrato. He's the guy who was at the helm of Tudor when they launched the Black Bay range, which catapulted them into being this very successful machine that they are now. He then joined Montblanc and was responsible for them launching the 1858 range. Giles and Nick English have now handed over the keys of Bremont to Davide. Based on Davide's track record, is pretty exciting, but I'm very sentimental and I don't like change. I don't know if this is changing, but one of my concerns of it changing is that Bremont was very focused on the community of the Bremont owners. I've mentioned previously in the past that they have these events for Bremont owners, and it felt like you're part of either a secret club or a private members club where you could go and listen to talks from adventurers that are sponsored by Bremont or just adventurers that have done cool stuff, climbed mountains, done amazing things around the world, and they just talk in a very relaxed setting at the Bremont boutique. We see a lot of brands sponsoring celebrities, but don't really have that much of a connection to the brand in which they're being sponsored by. Where I feel like Bremont do that right. They sponsor adventurers, they sponsor guys who are just doing cool shit. The biggest change that we've seen so far with Bremont is probably the branding. The logo's changed, the font of the name's changed as well, and along with that, they've kind of ripped out the Britishness. As I say, I don't like change, and so all of these things coming together at once, my little brain is struggling to comprehend it all. Right now, Bremont has launched 4 new field watches and updated their Supermarine range, all of which would benefit from having a beautiful Bark and Jack strap on it. If you're wanting to bring out the vintage vibe of your watch, then go with something like our 70-30 weave, which is 70% man-made fibers and then 30% natural cotton. If rather you're wanting to just go with outright strength strap, then check out our ribbed nylon, which has a super deep textured weave. All of these are available over at barkandjack.com. The field watch range is called Terra Nova and it comes in 4 variants. We've got a time only version, which is 38mm. We've got a time and date, which is 40.5mm. We've then got a rotating bezel Parareserve version, which is again 40.5mm. Then we've got an even bigger chronograph, which is 42.5mm. The 38mm version, the time only, is 38mm wide, 44mm lug to lug, 10.7mm thick, and has 20mm lugs. The Moon is what Bremont calls the BE36AL. This is actually a Sleater SW200-1B, but they've made quite a few tweaks to these movements. One of the challenges around all of these watches is that they only have pushing crowns. They have 100 meters water resistance, which is great, but I feel like any sports watch, any purposeful watch should have a screw down crown. All of these movements across the board have got upgraded hairsprings, upgraded balances, and upgraded mainsprings. Together, all of these mean that the movement is anti-magnetic and isn't particularly bothered by temperature changes. The Terra Nova date is 40.5mm wide, 47mm lug to lug. You can see all the specifications on the screen. This one comes with an ETA 2836 movement. Again, Bremont calls this the BE36AE. It's got all the other upgrades that the previous movements have, but it only has 38 hours of Parareserve. The watch that stands out to me as being the most interesting and kind of the flagship of this range is this one with the turning bezel and the Parareserve. I really like the fact it's got the compass bezel around the outside and the little additions of the sub-seconds and the Parareserve. It just looks like a fun, interesting watch at the same time as being a purposeful field watch. This is one of the larger models. It's the 40.5mm wide case, 47mm lug to lug, and it is 11.9mm thick. Got 22mm lugs, and we have a domed sapphire crystal like they all have, and they all have anti-reflective coating on them as well. This movement is the BE97AL, and this is a Sleater-based movement, 31 joules, and again, it has the upgrades of the balance spring, and the mainspring. This is priced at £3,700 on a bracelet or £3,450 on a strap. Now for the massive one, this is the chronograph version at 42.5mm wide. It's quite chunky at 14.8mm thick, and again, it's got the domed anti-reflective sapphire crystal. This is powered by the ETA 7750 and is priced at £4,950 on a bracelet or £4,700 on the strap. I didn't get much time with these watches in hand, but as a couple of positives and negatives that I identified with this, I think all of these watches are priced really very fairly for the package that you get. It would be great to see a screw down crown. It would be great to get a slightly higher Parareserve, but you do have a unique design and a brand new product. So I think the pricing is really quite fair. I also love the styling of the dial and the layout of the dial. And one big factor around the dial is these 3D loomed numerals. I think they look amazing. The loom is amazing, but I also feel like they just look amazing regardless of the lume. From a commercial standpoint, I feel like Bremont would have been better to have a more conventional case with these watches, but I can see they just wanted to do something different. And I feel like the bracelet is slightly over-engineered for what is needed for watches like that, but that's not a problem because, as I mentioned, you can get really nice straps over at barkandjack.com. As I mentioned, I'm not good with change, so when I've seen something that's been the same for years, I find it hard to just accept something new. So I really want to know your input. What are your thoughts on the new logo? What are your thoughts on the new branding? And what are your thoughts on these new watches? Drop a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. If you like to start this video, then hit the subscribe button down there and that little bell icon so you get notifications when I drop a new video. If you want to check out watch straps and watch accessories, jump over to barkandjack.com. That's 3 times I've said that. And if you're on Instagram, give me a follow at barkandjack. I think that's it. I'll see you guys very soon. Take care.